Good Wednesday evening, everybody. Thank you for your patience and timing. We start a few minutes late on Wednesday night because we're coming out of night of worship with our time for worship and prayer for Ukraine. So, yes, I had time to switch shirts. And I know you thought I was going to wear the same shirt from over there to over here, but no, we had the capability and the time to change shirts. I had everything ready to go over here, so we should be good to go. Nice to see everyone here tonight, ready for an update. It's been a big day, to be quite honest with you. Been a massive day. Big hello to you guys, Lynn and Harold down there in the great state of Virginia. Bob Piccarilli, God bless you tonight. Wilbur Winterberger, God bless you. Welcome, everyone. And Donna Adams, beautiful day today. Yes, it was a beautiful day today in Pennsylvania. And there's the question, is that the cookie above the flag? Yes, it is. I do not know how long that cookie will live. I did seal it up pretty tight. Maybe I need to shellac it. Is that a word? I'm going to shellac it. I also was educated. Listen, I have so many things going through my head. First thing I hear today over at the office is, do you know how to say posthumously? Because I think last night I was saying posthumously. Posthumously. I do know the word, but I was struggling with the posthumously last night. Anyway, folks, let's get to it because I try to keep us from 9 to 10. Started a little bit late tonight due to our night of worship. And let's jump right in. You guys are always sending in pictures and things. So those of you that are watching in Ukraine, which will be tomorrow, there's some support and love to Ukraine from the state of Texas. So Texas is in the house tonight. And there you go. Love to Ukraine from the state of Texas. So very, very big day today. I think the official number was like 11,962 were able to leave. Michael Johnson, I appreciate that comment, sir. Good evening. Continuing prayers for Ukraine. We look forward to the true updates from you. God bless. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, today's full, folks. I mean, like full. So I'm going to click through it. I've got video to show you. I've got the update from Zelenskyy's speech to the Congress. I've got things that are happening right now. Like stuff that's happening right now over there. So we'll talk about all of that. But let's start here. 12,000 escaped Mariupol today. 11,962, I think, escaped Mariupol. And the only way that they're able to escape Mariupol right now is via car. They can get out by car. They're going down to Berdyansk. Let's go here. We'll roll you a map real quick. And I showed you this, but they're leaving Mariupol down over here, going down to Berdyansk. And yes, it's all occupied territory. But fortunately, some are able to leave, and then from Berjansk, they're heading up toward Zaporozhye and Dnepropetrovsk. By the time you guys keep watching for another week or so, you're going to know Ukrainian map. Right now, currently, let me just show you the map here. When I told you things are currently happening, this is live. Updated, as you can see here, 9/21/28. It's 9/21. This is live. There are air sirens going off in Volnyska, north of Lutsk, the left. They are going off in Ternopil. Air raid signings are going off in Khmelnytsky. They're going off in Rovnitska. They're going off in Zhytomyr, of course, in Kyiv. They're going off in Kavoygrad. They're going off in Kryvyi Rog. They're going off in Dnepropetrovsk. They're going off in Zaporozhye. They're going off in Pervomaisky. And they're going off in Sumy. They're going off in... Oh, that one's covered up. Oh, that's Konotop. That's Konotop. In the city of Konotop. They're going off in Chernov. And bombs are dropping all in the east. Attacks are coming in, as we were talking about last night. What is the lightning bolt? What do you know about the Azov battalion? The Azov battalion is the battalion that is defending Mariupol. They are bunkered in, surrounded, and doing their best. They are in Mariupol. The lightning bolt right here, that's coming up. This is big time news, guys. The lightning bolt. We'll get to the lightning bolt. That's a good question. Here's what I want you to pay attention to. This is not on the news yet, but do you see these sirens here, these warnings? Well, let me tell you what's happening before you read it on the news tomorrow. Right now, and this is in Belarus, This is the border right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cities in Belarus are being struck. Now, you need to hear me. I'm telling you, it's happening. Explosions reported in a number of cities in Belarus, and then it lists them. Barananache, Lunanets, Stolen, Huntsavaichi, Sluts, Kletsk. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tomorrow, you're going to read and you're going to hear that Ukraine bombed Belarus. And then Russia is going to use that just for more cards in their pocket to get Belarus into the war. There are explosions happening in these 6 cities. Ukraine is not bombing Belarus. Please hear me clearly. Ukraine has enough to worry about to take care of its own self. Truck here, Belarus. It's supply and fuel trucks from Russia coming down through Belarus, of course, heading in to resupply the troops north of Kyiv. Now, here is red flag. I don't see a red flag. Oh, yeah. Sorry, you military guy. Yes, it's a red flag event. It's a false flag event. Exactly. Thank you, Rick Berry, our veteran. That's exactly what it is. But this is confirmed. You know, there's been little skirmishes on the border where something exploded and they're blaming each other. But folks, this is internally inside of Belarus. I'm telling you, you're going to be hearing about that. Now, here's the next thing you're going to hear about. I'm going to go zoom out. Look down here, folks. This is the breakaway region in Georgia where the war happened a few years ago, and the breakaway territory of Abkhazia. Russian military is there, big time. Well, they're loaded up, and they are headed in to support the war. I talked to some guys today in Ukraine, and they said they know they're coming, and they're ready for them. They better bring it. That's just what I was told. I can also tell you that from Western Russia, troops are being reallocated and whatever it's called, quartered, when they're told where to go, given new orders, and they're coming west. One more thing, Russia can't transport oil. Well, you see this marker right here? It's coming through the straits at Istanbul right now, and they marked it. That is a oil tanker under what flag? Under the flag of Liberia, a nation in Rick, that's good. That's a oil ship full of Russian oil, and right now it's heading to the United States full of Russian oil. That's the destination, and it's loaded, but they made that information possible. That Liberian, which is from Africa, cargo ship is full of Russian oil. It's right now in the Straits of Istanbul. And I think that's a good observation also, just looking at the map here to get started. False flag event for sure happening. It could be to involve Poland, or just listen, they're just playing chess. They're playing chess. And I'm going to explain to you some of that in just a moment. Now, I was telling you about the 11,000 folks that were able to escape from Mariupol through the night. I want to show you on the coast to the left. You'll have to tell me. The military, the Navy's right here, from Russia. Maybe you're looking at the electrical symbol. We're going to talk about that in a minute. That's big time. Check this out. These are the cars leaving and traveling through occupied territory. Just some video of it so you can see how many cars were able to get out of Mariupol. Then they were arriving. They received aid, medicines. These are people that have just gotten out. Water, food, in their first stop. Children. So I'm not even playing the audio on that one. Just wanted to show you showers. They're able to get cleaned up. So it's really a good thing there that those cars were able to escape. Let's go now to the big stuff for the day. Just a little while ago, I grayed out the name because I did not get permission to share. If I would have unblocked the name, but it's a friend living in Kyiv. It says 7 minutes ago, but that was actually posted about 2 hours ago. I threw that in right before heading over for night for worship. Important. This is from a Ukrainian living in Kyiv. Listen to this person. My dear friends, we got info that Russian troops may try to jam our internet, mobile, and TV connection the next couple of days to get opportunities spreading fakes on TV and internet. It's the part of information war against Ukraine. Please don't worry if you will see me offline. As I said, it's possible, but I will do my best to be in touch as soon as possible. And pay attention to this statement. And please don't believe in fake news on TV. This is why I'm here every night also, because half of it's late, half of it's wrong, half of it is misunderstood. And please don't believe in fake news on TV. You see, this is a different culture. Ukrainian culture, Russian culture, Slavic culture. Think differently, brilliant, wonderful, but just because you have the ability to report on a fact, if you don't understand the cultural setting, then you can be reporting it wrong. And that's what happens a lot, especially on our American. They're trying to report it, they're saying what they think, but they don't know the culture, they don't know the nation. And then she says, I will give you a real update as soon as I can. Thank you. So we do know that TV towers, communication centers are big targets. So we will continue to watch that. Listen, Kyiv is a very dangerous place right now. Make no mistake about it. This is a journalist in Australia. A little 20-second clip here. Check this out. He's talking from the roof of a building. And of course, you'll understand him. It's English.
Fortunately, this building was largely empty at the time. Most residents had already decided in the last couple of weeks to pack the bags, leave this city and head to the safety of the West. But with 144 apartments, almost 600 residents, this attack could have been so much worse.
So it just gives you a little bit of the reality, and that was an Australian reporter there telling the truth. Now, I was sent this. I want to share this with you. Very interesting. I talk about these cities. I call their names, but you need to understand, for those of you that are in here and watching from the United States, just think about this. I've called most of these cities names: Kyiv, Kharkov, Odessa, Dnipro, Donetsk, Zaporozhye, Lviv, Kryvyi Rog, Mykolaiv, Sevastopol, Mariupol, and Lugansk. That's their populations. That is the city populations, not the complete metro. But then it gives the comparable American city. So Kyiv, Chicago in size. Hello. Kharkov, San Diego. Odessa, Austin, Texas. Dnipro, San Jose, California. Donetsk, Indianapolis. Zaporozhye, Seattle. Lvov, Denver. Kryvyi Rog, Detroit. Mykolaiv, Miami. Sevastopol, Long Beach, California. Mariupol, Minneapolis. If you've ever been to Minneapolis, that's the size of Mariupol. And Lugansk, similar to Tulsa, Oklahoma. So maybe that'll help you understand, when we're calling these cities, how big they really are and how many people are actually impacted. I wanted to update you on the ZPP and Chernobyl as well. That is the Zaporozhye power plant. That is a picture of it, the nuclear power plant, under complete control of the Russian army. They are doing controlled explosives there. Ukrainians are forced to work under gunpoint. Same at Chernobyl, to maintain the plants. But communication has been lost and is still lost to report radiation. And these two spots remain extremely dangerous, especially since we do know that Russia is using unguided missiles and bombs, a lot of free falling World War II type bombing. Kyiv last night and this morning, in toward the center of the city, not on the outskirts, was attacked big time. Just a couple of pictures here. That was this morning in Kyiv, the building. And you can see the rescue worker literally on the right, digging through rubble, looking for people. I've walked up steps like that many, many times. And that's tight. How do they even determine the building's safe enough, structurally, for these guys to go in and do rescue? It's because they're human and they care for people. So that's reality. That is this morning in Kyiv. Now, folks, big story of the day. Big story of the day. Mariupol. I've got some stuff I'm going to show you. This is turning into a fiasco. Here's what I want to tell you. These are facts. Right under 12,000 people did escape Mariupol last night. But today, the building that you see there is the Mariupol Drama Theater. You may say, okay, that doesn't look that big. Let me tell you something. It's a big theater. That theater was being used to house women, children, and older folks that could not get out. They're sieged there. These are facts. I'll show you an aerial view. This is the aerial view. You can now see a more relative look of how big this theater is. This is the Central Drama Theater, downtown Mariupol, right across the street from the Apple store. Has its own park and the drama theater. You can see how beautiful that looks. That building was bombed today. Now, are you ready for the madness? Russia said they did not do it, that Ukraine bombed their own building. Folks, Ukraine did not bomb their own building. Russia bombed the building. I'm going to take it a little deeper for you. I'm going to show you some video, not of the bombing. This is prior to the bombing. I have video for you from inside that drama theater where you can experience how many people. Right now, everything's under rubble, but there were between 1,000 and 1,200 women and children. In fact, let me show you two more things. Here's another aerial view. Okay, and I've got two little blue circles there. Can you see the word written in the circle on the big squares in the front and the back? You may be able to see it. Let me zoom in for you. Can you see it now? It says Yeti. What's Yeti? Children. You see how many stories tall that building is now, folks? You're getting an idea of how big it is. The citizens of Mariupol had put in white paint on the square in front and back so it could be seen from an airplane. Children. Letting people know from the air, children were being protected in this building. That building is destroyed, and the people were in it. I'm going to show you a video. There's no bombing here, don't worry, but you will see the people and how dark and how many people were in this theater. No lights. Can you hear the people?
Сейчас пойду еще поселю одну семью вместе там.
Хорошо, хорошо. Вот смотрите. Вот здесь у нас собираются люди для выдачи питания. В первую очередь мы детям, женщинам, старикам, а потом уже мужики.
This is the place
кому
where women are staying, where
Но
children
это
are
вот только
staying.
начинают собираться. Вот здесь у нас
Registering to stay there. Folks, that entire building full of people. Infantry analysis of the Russian attempted encirclement of Kyiv is making slow progress, but it's close. That's a fact, sir. they are close. And this is why the skies need to be closed. I talked with a guy today, and he said, Greg, if our skies were closed and it didn't resort to chemical and tactical nukes, let's just be honest, it was just standard warfare, because we'll whoop them. But we can't stop the air. Can't. We need it. We need help, and we need our skies closed. So it's going to happen one way or the other. And folks, that was, just for documentation. Once that happened today, Mariupol released that video to prove that women and children were there. It's unacceptable. And as far as, things just returning to normal, we hit the stop button and Russia goes home, Ukraine goes home, we make some borders, and no, there's too much. That guy has to be held accountable for his actions. He knows it. And that's why I'm concerned. We need to get this ended. I'm just telling you, we need to get this ended. A part of the problem, Zelynskyy spoke to the United States, and yesterday, even referring to these actions, and I'm not here to talk about President Biden, Psaki, or any of them. We know the truth there. But here's the problem that the world doesn't understand playing chess with Vladimir Putin. This guy is KGB. He's trained. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he's lost his marbles. It's a very dangerous thing to play games with. And here's a problem I have. I'm going to show you this. I'm not here tonight to pick on this lady. The reality is she doesn't know what she's doing, and it's just a fact. But let me tell you something. This is not, I'm going to give you a lesson tonight. This is not how you negotiate in war.
The end game.
Well, the end game is really a question for President Putin. We have completely crushed his economy. We have provided military assistance, humanitarian assistance to the Ukrainians, enabling them to fight back for far longer than the Russian leadership anticipated. And again, he has to determine what the path forward looks like for him. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, listen. No, wrong answer. You do not tell the opponent. Well, the opponent will have to determine the path they want. No, this is the way you handle it. Okay, we've provided humanitarian, we've provided military, we've provided support. But here's the deal. Mr. Putin has nothing to do with anything anymore. He's going to be defeated now. He is going to be taken out. Russia's going to be stopped. And it's not his decision to make. His decisions are off the table now. That's how you handle it. When you say things like that, and believe me, folks, in the Kremlin, they're watching American media. They're watching every media just like America does. They're watching it. In fact, today, and I'm not showing this tonight, but President Biden, there was a clip of him saying Putin's a war criminal. Vladimir Putin has already responded to that, and he is blowing his top. He then accused America of killing hundreds of thousands of people around the world in our wars. You do not negotiate. You do not give, put the ball in his court. Well, Mr. Putin's going to have to determine what the next step is. No. We determine what the next step is. You've picked on our friend, and we need to take care of it. And we're not the police, but the UN, the NATO, these organizations, we cannot. They just dropped a bomb on 1,000 to 1,200 ladies and kids and older people. So, yeah, you just make your own decisions. And then said Ukraine did it. Okay, this is not how to do it. Hopefully, those things improve. Nikolaev, Ukraine. I like giving you updates on cities. And here's some good news. Nikolaev, this is the zoo. That's a big bear there in the Nikolaev Zoo. They ran out of food. They actually ran out of money to buy food. Why is it so hard to close the skies? It's not. It's called fear. It's called no leadership. And I'm not on just America here, folks. Globally, the only two strong leaders in the world right now is Zelynskyy and the president and prime ministers of Poland. I will tell you this, though. Boris Johnson is starting to step up. I've told you, I'm not sure how much longer Great Britain's going to stand for this. They have character. Our Brits have character. Not sure how much longer he's going to allow this, nor are the British folks. They understand war. So we'll see. But back to the Nikolaev Zoo. No money to buy food. They turned a website on, and people bought tickets and sold out the zoo for months to come. Never going to go to the zoo. People from all around the world bought tickets. All the money came in, and now the zoo is able to feed their animals. Folks, the Melitopol mayor has been released. This is a story we've been following about a week. He's now free. It was not a rescue. It was a trade. 9 prisoners of war were traded for Mayor Ivan Fedorov. So he's back. He's wore out. He was tortured. And today, he and President Zelynskyy had a phone call. I'll let you hear it, then I'll translate it for you.
Давай.
Пане президент, добрий вечір.
Добрый вечер вам. Як ты?
Здравствуйте. Владимир Александрович, теперь значительно лучше.
Я очень рад тебя слышать. Ну, голос живого
Владимир Александрович,
человека.
Спасибо
Нет.
огромное, что не бросили.
Мы,
Спасибо огромное,
мы не
что
бросаем
начали.
наших, ты что, о чем ты?
Мне нужен день-два восстановиться, после этого готов выполнять любую вашу команду, чтобы День Победы наш наступил значительно скорее. И Мелитополь вернулся. Украинский флаг, который эти пидорасы сняли, пока меня посадили.
100%. Ну, 2 дня мы тебе не обещаем, Вань.
Хорошо.
Ты молодой хлопец, за 1 день восстановишься. Мы очень счастливы, что тебя забрали. Очень счастливы. Не удается пока всех забрать, блокируют они бессовестно.
So there's their conversation. Let me translate it. Zelynskyy said first, they're doing their hellos, how are you, welcome, glad you're back. And Zelynskyy, and I quote, said, I'm happy to hear the voice of a man who is alive. Fedorov then replies and says, thank you, President Zelynskyy, and I want you to know I'm doing much better. Zelynskyy said, listen, we will never abandon our people. And then Fedorov replies, listen to this. These guys are amazing. Fedorov replies and says, thank you, Mr. Zelynskyy, for not abandoning me. I need 1 or 2 days to recover from this ordeal, and then I will be at your disposal to contribute to our victory any way I can, folks. And then at the end, Zelynskyy calls him a mujik. The mujik. That's slang. And what it means is you're a real man. So that's a story we've been following, and we can have a smile on that one. Ivan Fedorov, the mayor of Melitopol, has been set free. How did I hit both of those buttons at the same time? Get a cheer going. Finally, we've got some good news there. Proud and happy about that. All right, let's keep rolling. A few more things here. Zelynskyy spoke to the U.S. Congress today, 9 a.m. this morning. Maybe you saw it, maybe you didn't. But let me read you a couple of things of what Zelynskyy said to the United States Congress. These are quotes. Every day, Ukrainian cities are under shelling. This is the worst war since World War II. And Russia desires to suppress Ukraine's right to live and choose its own future. Zelynskyy was prepped well. He then made a reference to Mount Rushmore. To Mount Rushmore. He knows what he's doing. Much like Ronald Reagan, Zelenskyy's background, maybe you do not know this, he was an actor, just like Ronald Reagan. And then he went into politics. So now you kind of get the flavor here. Zelynskyy complimented the United States on the faces that are on Mount Rushmore. He said, there were pages in your past that help you to understand us as Ukrainians. He then says, it reminds me of the bombing of Pearl Harbor when the sky was black with planes attacking you. Do you remember September 11th, 2001, when the enemy tried to turn your city into a battlefield? Please create a no-fly zone. If this is too much for you, United States, there is an alternative. You know we need airplanes to protect our people. They exist, but they are on the ground and they are not in our skies. Regardless, thank you, Mr. Biden and the United States. Nevertheless, in the darkest times for our country, I urge you to do more. Please continue to accept new packages of sanctions until this Russian war machine stops. He then proposed that a new association may be created, the U-24, which would be a new association of nations that could work together, that have similar mindsets and concepts to respond to aggression within 24 hours in the future. He said if such an alliance existed today, we would have been able to save thousands of lives in Ukraine and also anywhere in the world where people suffer. He then asked the U.S. Congress to ensure the supply of air defense systems to Ukraine, including the S-300, which is an anti-aircraft battery, and a humanitarian no-fly zone over Ukraine. Zelynskyy also called on the remaining American companies that are still doing work in and with Russia to please leave. He then thanked us again, and he closed with, it is now in this day that the fate of our country is being decided. And then here comes Ronald Reagan. He said, President Biden, please be a leader of peace. So here's what you may not know. Immediately after Zelynskyy made that speech, guess who made a speech? Vladimir Putin. He made a speech immediately after that. And this is what Vladimir Putin said. If Russian troops stopped at the borders of the LDR and the DPR, which is the separatist regions in the right, which started in 2014, which is really when this war started. He said this would not be the final decision. He says residents of that region of Donbass have been subjected to genocide for 8 years. He then said, every assigned task that I have laid out in this military operation will certainly happen and be solved. I offer independence. I offer for Ukraine to withdraw all of their troops and to stop in the hostilities. He then said, We are working for the future because we know there are military biological laboratories working in Ukraine. Also, in the foreseeable future, this pro-Nazi regime in Kyiv could get nuclear weapons, and of course, Russia would be the target. In fact, I would like to say that the United States and the European Union has defaulted on their relationship with us, Russia. There is a global war information that is going on against our Russia. I'm just telling you what he said. That's what he said immediately after Zelynskyy gave his speech. Now, earlier, you guys were asking about the lightning bolt over here on the left. Folks, this is big. This is directly, you can see the tweet today from President Volodymyr Zelynskyy. And I'll let one of you guys read that. There you go. I'll tell you what it says. Today, Ukraine stands in the European electrical grid. Our electrical grid is no longer looking to Russia, but we are now connected and functioning with Europe on our electrical grid. That is why over here you see that lightning bolt over to the west of the country. They have connected to the electrical power grid. Folks, these are just other cards that are falling that puts the relationship of Ukraine more distant or distancing itself more away from Russia. And these are the things that Vladimir Putin doesn't want. He's losing his barrier. That's what he thinks against Europe. As well today, President Zelynskyy made a couple of more statements that I think are important to share with you. The big speech was the biggest thing, but he did say today, beginning today at 9 a.m. every morning, there will be a nationwide moment of silence for our troops and for those that have lost their lives. And he signed the decree. He then asked or declared that everything that is being done by the Russians is being recorded, and we will expect an international tribunal, war crimes. And today he called the Russian nation a terrorist state, and he then asked for those in social media to continue to do the good job of not showing, the private pictures or data of the air defenses that they have. So that was Zelynskyy today, big day, talking to Melitopol Mayor Ivan Fedorov, talking to the United States Congress, electrical grid connected to Europe, and also the moment of silence decree declared. The guy was busy today. I can tell you this, that you're seeing a picture there of military cadets in Russia. That's in their military schools. It's just, of course, a propaganda photo, but it is their military cadets, and they are being given early graduation. Their 9 a.m. moment of silence and prayer would be what time here in the eastern USA? 3 a.m. 3 a.m. Our time went ahead an hour. I missed that the other day. And they're typically +7, but because we sprung forward, Ukraine is now +6. And if you want to know, Moscow right now is +7. So that would be 3 a.m. And let me get over here where you can see the picture. That is the picture of the military cadets. Early graduation, bringing new reinforcements into the war. Today, oh yeah, there was another moment, Zelynskyy. Today, Russian media hacked, listen to this, hacked President Zelensky's speeches that he's been making over time and put together a montage, broadcasted it throughout Ukraine as much as they could, and of course in Russia. That do you see the journalists there with the Ukrainian coats on and the Ukrainian colors and all this? They took over the airwaves of channel 24, which is a big channel, and faked it that Zelynskyy had surrendered, Ukraine had surrendered, and called for all Ukrainian military to lay down their weapons immediately. Zelynskyy in Ukraine, of course, it's information warfare, instantly got on top of it. He went live, and actually the picture down there at the bottom left, he was in the street or going somewhere, and he went live immediately, and he says, we are not going to hand over any weapons until our victory. But I can offer to hand over weapons only to the Russian military if you would like to surrender. That was Zelynskyy reacting to the hacking of their TV channel. Folks, this information warfare, it's serious. Big time, on levels we've never seen before. You know, I'm very thankful. I've got good folks supplying me with information that are part of these groups, like Anonymous. You know about them. You've seen them on the news. These guys are involved in serious information and technological warfare. And this stuff is real. This is not some book. This is not some movie. There's so much hacking going on. There's so much stuff on the internet. There's so much stuff going on in communications. That is why these communication centers and television towers and relay stations are trying to be destroyed, because he who can control the narrative can win the war. It's a fact. That's why in World War II, Hitler was so successful in the early parts of World War II, and in the 30s rising to power with the Nazi Party. Why? Because Adolf Hitler was a master of controlling the media. He controlled everything. He controlled the narrative. He was snowballing all the nations. Neville Chamberlain was falling for it like easy. Why? He was in control completely with the media. And we see what happened. Finally, the world got wise, and it was over. But the same thing is happening right now. It is an information war. Today, Finland, Sweden, Georgia, and Ukraine, and parts of the EU began deeper discussions with putting troops, peacekeeping troops that can defend themselves, that means they have weapons, on Ukrainian soil. Those conversations are happening. I think people are getting tired of seeing children bombed. I know I am, and it has to stop. Slovakia stepped up to the plate today. They gave all their defensive air systems, S-300s, to Ukraine. And folks, what you need to understand about this is Slovakia is just below Poland. They are a direct neighbor of Ukraine, right on the border. You can see Ukraine there in the right, the circle. Slovakia to the left, and the yellow line is the border. They gave their weapon systems to Ukraine, and they now are asking to be resupplied. Biden administration weighs providing Ukraine with killer drones called Switchblades. These things are, of course, American, extremely high tech and powerful weapons. You know, one thing I think we're learning, and I do know this even from the Ukrainian and Russian side, there's a lot of drone warfare. A lot. In fact, it just reminds me, when I was heading to the Philippines in Manila, I was on a flight from Detroit to Tokyo, and then from Tokyo, I flew to Manila. Well, had a little layover in Tokyo, got something to eat and checking out Japan, and then I headed to Manila and had a nice seat. And the guy sitting beside me was wearing an American military uniform. So I asked him, I said, man, what are you going to Manila for? He says, this is our drone base. I said, what do you mean drone base? He goes, well, you know, we are big time allies with the Philippines, but our drone base is not in the United States. You know, he couldn't tell me everything he did, but you can look it up yourself. This is public information, but in Manila is where our drone pilots are. I said, what do you mean Manila? He goes, yeah, huge city. We're hidden. We're protected. This is where we fly our drones from. I said, like, where are you flying drones? He goes, Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, and any other countries that you think we're flying stuff over. He goes, it's not the big, you know, what is it? No, that spy plane. I can't remember. The big spy plane. What was the big spy plane? The one that Gary Powers got shot out of. U.S. spy plane. Gary Powers. I think that was his name, wasn't it? Gary Powers. U2. U2? Yeah, the U2. Gary Powers and the U2, the spy plane. Now it's done with drones. But folks, these guys flying these drones are in Manila. So drone warfare is a big deal. And I think much bigger than we realize. And administration is weighing giving drones to Ukraine. Additional air defense systems are being sent to Ukraine. We are supplying them. We also talk about the economic side, and just a couple more things here and we'll get off tonight. But the economic side, BMW and Volkswagen in Europe, they had to shut down their vehicle plants because their supplier of some of their parts in Volkswagens and BMWs are actually manufactured in Ukraine, and those factories are not working. Update for you. I told you a couple of days ago that Air Serbia was transporting Russians between Moscow and then the rest of the world where Air Serbia flies. That lasted for 2 days. This afternoon, Air Serbia canceled all their flights to Moscow. European Union, United States, a lot of big boys put some pressure on Serbia. And Serbia decided that it was in their best interest to stop those flights. Good news. Air Serbia has discontinued their travel into Russia. Finally, you hear some rumblings now about China. Are they going to help Russia? Are they friends with Ukraine? We understand that's a rogue communist regime as well. But I can show you, this was a map sent to me today. This is the war map in Chinese, and you can see all the red there. And then where we're watching, of course, the red is where Russia's occupying. The LPR and the DPR, the breakaway regions, the separatist regions, Crimea in the orange. But what's interesting is at the bottom, you see KPR in question mark. And of course, that would be the Kherson People's Republic. They're trying so quick to create a breakaway region and make it sovereign. So even these Chinese maps are showing this stuff. Well, where are they getting that information from? Mother Russia, of course. So I guarantee you they're not getting it from Ukraine, because that's not the map Ukraine will stand for. So that's the full update tonight. Now, did I miss anything? TV Today hacking. No, I think we've got it all. Folks, that was a full hour, and that's what I try to keep it to and try to plan for each night. Typically 9 to 10 Eastern. Thank you for being here. As always, I do want to give you some updates as we leave and sign off. Continue to pray for Ukraine. Continue to show up here each night at 9 p.m. Eastern. I'll give you the update in an hour with all the current news and stuff that you'll even see tomorrow on your news. Finally, thank you for your giving. Had a meeting with Pastor Kent today, and as always, he's an administrating monster doing a phenomenal job. But I can tell you, folks, listen, thank you guys for the YouTube. I appreciate that. Keep at least once a week, give up that cup of coffee, give up that one family dinner out at Applebee's, and donate that meal to Ukraine. You can continue to give at www.blwc.org. We are in it for the long haul. We're not going anywhere. This is day 21 of us doing this. And I would like to report to you tonight that after talking with PK today, we are now north of $50,000. $50,000 we have raised together locally here at our church at Bethel Life, and from you, the community that is sticking in here each night, watching, learning, and your heart is being touched and moved upon to give. Folks, I don't know about you. That's unbelievable. In 21 days, good things are happening. We'll continue to stand with Ukraine. You guys have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow night in 22 hours and 48 minutes. In 23 hours. May the Lord bless you, keep you, cause his face to shine upon you, be gracious to you, give you peace. And tonight we speak peace on Ukraine. Good night. See you tomorrow.